Today, doing something a little bit different. You're gonna see mostly me working here in just a minute. I'm going to do a little bit of overdub on top of that. So instead of me just like, hey, here's a bit of time lapse, I'm gonna have the time lapse, but talking over it so that way, you know, we can talk about things. It's not necessarily gonna be about the thing that I'm working on, maybe a little, but I'm kind of changing it up a little bit just to try something new. And so let's do that thing. So here we go.
Okay, so here's what's going on. We're going to talk about two separate things, individual. Number one being the process of the work that you happen to see in front of you right now, because I want to talk about that so that you can see what I'm doing and understand why I do it and how I do it and whatnot. Number two, I'm going to talk to you about a conversation I had with my friend Nina about the places that we show up and why I think that is important. But first, let's talk about the art. All right? Good. Let's go. So what you're seeing here in this first part is that I am working with a lot of paper. Now, some of you may have seen some of my pieces that are more abstract, small pieces where it's a bunch of abstracts, maybe a little bit of collage done, and some typography and whatnot. That's the stuff I had been doing up until recently. Well, up until today. Before that, I had done a lot of pieces similar to the one that I'm creating in this video. And that is what I called my social commentary. And it was a lot of thoughts about things that are happening on the internet and things that I see on a daily basis. And just, you know, my ideas around these things. A little snarky, a little bit cheeky at times, sometimes very motivational, sometimes not any real message whatsoever, just something I was thinking about. As I've grown and produced more work, I've noticed that more people tend to drift towards these particular types of pieces. And so, I'm no dummy. I'm going to continue to make these kind of pieces. And they are really satisfying to me because of the very physical nature. So essentially what you're seeing is almost two separate pieces of art that are assembled together. First, you see here is the collage, which is a mix of things on paper. Now, I started here today with a little piece of chipboard, and then I started building on top of that. And I started the drawing first, and then adding some stuff, and then I'll add some paint, and then I'll add some more glue, and then add some more things, and progressing it over and over and over. And as this goes along, you'll see me tear this apart completely almost, and take that and assemble it to which is the substrate, but also a little bit of art unto itself, because it's not just a straight substrate. It is actually art laid down on this panel, and then I paint on top of that, kind of leaving hints for the people that look at it. Leaving little hints, little tastes of an idea of something that's happening in the background. A little secret between me and the person that views or owns the piece, something that they can only see because most of the stuff that you see, like whether it's on Instagram, here or YouTube, wherever, you're not going to be able to see the details unless you get right up close. So if you want to start seeing the stuff that I'm writing and putting into these pieces, you're going to have to come see my work, or better yet, buy my work, and then you can have the little secret between you and me. Just you and me will share that secret. So I take that art, I take the collage part, and then I assemble it to the substrate, and I put that together, sign that, and boom, there you go. It's a little bit of a process, takes some time to get through, but you get through it, and there it is. And I love this type of work, and I will probably be producing more work similar to this of different sizes rather than the kind of stuff that I was doing last. I don't know, we'll see. I'll change my mind more times than I change my underwear sometimes, and so you never know. I might do something completely different next time we talk. And that sort of leads me into this other topic that I was mentioning, where I was talking with my friend Nina about how we show up. And I've talked about social media platforms and the places that we show up and how important it is to pick the ones that are right for you. And the conversation between Nina and I turned to how you show up in those spaces and how important it is to show up in a way that is not just authentic, but also gets people's attention enough to want to support you. The more that you show up in that authentic way and show up for these people, the more likely you're going to have, for lack of a better term, a tribe of folks that really want to support what you do, that really believe in what you do. And so for me, A lot of what I do, a lot of my motivation for the things that I put out is with the idea that I know that, yes, people will like my art, but they're going to like it a whole lot more if they like me first. And so I make these active choices to be on these different platforms, whether it's on YouTube, on Facebook video, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Pretty soon it's going to be on Twitch. If you're not familiar with Twitch, it's a live streaming platform that's mostly geared towards gamers, but is starting to build their creative side where they're showing people doing their art, making the things, making music. And I'm going to be part of that because my friend Nina is actually doing it, and I'm so inspired by what's happening with her initial start there that I'm like, this is a perfect platform for me. So I show up, I do me everywhere I'm at. I produce the kind of work that I do, and people will drift towards me based on how I am, the way that I am in that space. And the longer and more diligently I produce the kind of work, both on the substrates and in the video or wherever, then I'm going to have a bigger, stronger following. And then from there, the plan is that as they continue to support me on social media, they will potentially buy from me, whether it's a small thing like a mug or an iPhone cover, or it's a piece of art or something more substantial. And as I start to grow in popularity, other places and people will start to take notice and hopefully will ask me, Dave, will you come talk to us about the way you do your thing? And I'll say, yes, I will gladly come produce my thing for you here in your space for a fee, of course. And so that is essentially what I'm getting at, is that at some point, somebody is going to be inspired by the work I do, and they're either going to want to support me just by clicking a thumbs up, support me by buying my work, or support me by saying, hey, come hang out with us because we want to learn from you. We want to be entertained by you. We want to be your best friend. I don't know. That's kind of a stretch, but that's kind of the idea, and that's how I'm living my life. And so as the title of this series goes, How to Sell Art, this really comes down to one simple concept. Keep showing up, keep being entertaining, keep being educational if you can. Keep showing the world who you are through your work. No, you do not have to be on video. You do not have to be on audio like I do. You don't necessarily have to do those things, but you must continue to keep showing up in the places that you're meant to be showing you up, and do it consistently and do it a lot, and always interact with people on your terms and their terms, and try to be the best person you possibly can for them, because I guarantee you that is how the winners are going to win in 2017 and beyond. The old school ways of just putting yourself out there and hoping the world sees it, it's not going to work that way anymore. The only way you win, in my opinion, in 2017 and beyond is to be a face, to be a focal point, to be a fixture within people's minds, to the point of where not only do they want to watch you and listen to you and see what you do, but support you in many different ways, whether that's clicking on your like button or buying your stuff, or both, and all. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed that little conversation, and I had a great time doing that. Maybe I will do that more. If you did, do me the favor, like it up, share it with your peeps, and do the things that you need to do. Thanks very much, guys. Remember, be good today, be even better tomorrow. See ya.